to our history topic, the Maya, and this is lesson 6, which is all about Mayan food. Now, food and farming, Mayan farmers had to deal with rainforests, swamps, and steep hillsides. Now, these are difficult types of land to farm. Also, the Mayans didn't have animals to help them, and their only tools were made from stone and wood. Despite these challenges, Mayan farmers were extremely successful. Let's take a look at why and how they were so successful. Jungle farming. One common Mayan farming technique was called slash and burn. Farmers would chop down trees and then set fire to the area. The ash from the fire added nutrients to the soil. So nutrients make the soil better. It's full of goodness and better for plants to grow in, which made it easy for crops to grow. Terrace farming was used to grow crops on steep hills. The Maya would cut ledges into the side of a hill and then build walls to support them. This would stop soil slipping down the slope and make the space to plant crops. So if you look here, these are terraces and they are still used today in the world. Anywhere where the land is very hilly, farmers will make these terraces so on the side of hills and mountains so that they can grow crops. Now, we don't need to do this in the UK because we have got lots of flat land, but in many places around the world, even today, farmers will use these terraces. Mayan menu. The Maya grew a lot of maize, also called corn, and you can see a picture of that there. Maize was so important to the Maya that it was even worshipped as a god, and we'll be learning about that in a later lesson. The Maya grew other crops too, such as beans, squash, sweet potatoes, avocados, tomatoes, papaya and chili peppers. They also fished in the rivers and hunted for deer, turtles and a wild pig called a peccary. Ready, steady, cook. The Maya diet was varied, and what people ate depended on where their city-state was. Historians think that a kind of maize porridge called atole was a popular dish. Most other meals would probably have contained lots of vegetables as well as some meat or fish. Tortillas, a flat bread made from maize, was served with every meal. So here we have maize, which is the corn we were just talking about, and you can see it there, and those are tortillas. You put food inside them and then wrap them up. And then we're going to now look at another very important food for the Maya, which was cacao, which we know today as chocolate. So, well, before we do that, let's take a look a bit further in depth at maize. Maize was a very important crop and it formed up to 80% of their diet. To plant the maize, holes would be made in the soil with a sharp-bladed wooden digging stick called a dibble. The soil was very dry, and if the May rains didn't come, a whole year's crops would be lost. For thousands of years, the Maya worshipped the maize god. They believed that the first humans were made by the gods from maize dough. Because of this, when suffering from severe illnesses, they would eat nothing but corn. Maya farmers would plant maize wherever they could. Maize is more commonly known to us today as corn. Now, here's a bit about chocolate. Chocoholics. Cacao trees sprout cocoa pods directly from their trunks. Now, if we just go back a few slides, up here, that's what a cocoa pod looks like. The pods are then opened to reveal the cacao beans inside. The Maya were using these beans to make a chocolatey drink as far back as the 4th century AD. However, it was not the sweet chocolatey flavour we crave today, but a more bitter tasting version, often laced with chili or vanilla and other spices. The drink was enjoyed by the rich and noble merchants of society, and the cacao beans were highly valued. They were even used as a form of currency later on in Maya history. Now, currency means money, so they actually would use those as money because they were so valuable, like we use coins today. And the Maya word for chocolate is cacao, which is how you pronounce the word which I showed you earlier there, cacao. That's how it's pronounced. The Maya used chocolate in religious ceremonies, and they also mixed them with herbs to make medicines. I'd like you now, in your book, to write the LO, I understand how the Maya used food, and then I would like you to draw a line down the middle and put these two titles. So pause the video while you do that. Okay, I now have some statements here. I have 6 statements. So what I would like you to do, I would like you to basically decide which of these statements is going to go under which heading. So we've got, this food could be made into a hot drink called atole, eaten like porridge called pozole or made into tortillas. This food was often mixed with herbs used in medicines. The rich and noble members of society enjoyed this food made into a hot drink. The Maya people believed that the first humans were made out of this. This food was the main part of the Maya diet. And the beans of this plant were used as a form of currency money. So please press pause. Write these statements under the correct headings. Leave a space, a line between each one. When you've unpaused, we can take a look at what the answers are. Okay, let's take a look at this one. The beans of this plant were used as a form of currency or money. Well, that would be cacao, that would be chocolate. This food was the main part of the Maya diet, that would be maize. The rich and noble members of society enjoyed this food made into a hot drink. This food was often mixed with herbs and used in medicines, so that's also cacao chocolate. This food could be into a hot drink called atole, eaten like a porridge called pozole, or made into tortillas, is maize. And the Maya people believed that the first humans were made out of this. So there you have some examples of how maize and chocolate were used by the Maya. We will be continuing with the Maya in our next history lesson. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing the work that you show me, and bye for now.